pretty little daughter that we call Mixie. And if you wanna get beat physically, it will be over in a minute if you...
What's up, dudes and dudettes? And today I'm going to talk about how I set my intake and outtake up from my Sunsun 4B canister filter on my 4-foot aquarium. Okay, so it's pretty simple, and I'll talk to you how I set up my 6-foot at the same time as well. So first of all, I have my my intake right here, and it's on this side, and at the same time I have my outtake right here. It pushes over here and it circles it back around to the output or the input. So if you look at it, it makes this loop. Okay, now if you have a 6-foot, you can do the same thing. You could put both of your outputs on this side and push them. And how I had it before was I took one and I lowered it a little bit lower, and then I kept one a little bit higher right next to it. And also you'll never see me in a bigger aquarium without sponge filters. I picked this tip up from Adam C, and I'm grateful that the man told me about it. Use these in case you have an accident or an emergency with a fish. You can start up a tank real fast. But with 6-foots, I always ran two right next to each other on the opposite end of the outtakes when they came around. So you could just pick them up and then you can vacuum around on the bottom where all the waste that your intakes don't pick up. So it's a giant circle, and whatever lays on the bottom that pushes, these pick up, and you can vacuum up during a water change, no big deal. Now if you like running wave makers work great as well to push it, but as long as you don't use too big of a wave maker, because wave makers, and you'll eventually notice this, they actually kind of fray a little bit at the fins if these fish are constantly swimming in a current. You have to either put it on a timer and run it at certain times to where they're not always in it. But especially with these smaller ones, you really have to watch these smaller ones. I was doing that, and I decided to go ahead and take my wave maker out until I decide if I want which gallons per hour that I want to actually run, and I'll put it up in that corner like I had my other one, circling it back around to kind of boost with this output as well. But for right now, everything looks good. What you're seeing is floating around in there is from me actually taking out my wave maker. And yeah, if you actually see like that's from the fish digging that out. They like digging holes under the rocks. But if you see in corners where the sand's pushing away, then you know that you have too much current going in there. And you either have to put the output to the top to where it hits more of the surface, to where it's not pushing down and mixing everything up. But you can see I have plenty of surface agitation up on top, and the output should be pushing out enough. These are small enough fish that I shouldn't have a problem. But yeah, guys, that is my entire opinion, you know, and that's how I set mine up, and that's how I had my 6-foot set up as well. You know, you guys, I appreciate you guys watching and taking the time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
And the girl caressed me down, and that's that loving sound. And I went, and the girl caressed me down, and that's that loving sound when I kiss me.